If you've been following the stock market or investing YouTuber Mcash this year, and if you invested based on his advice, then chances are you would have lost a ton of money. I've been following Mcash's channel since January of 2021, and actually for the first 3 months of this year, I kept a spreadsheet where I recorded every single stock tip that he provided, so that I could track over time what the return on investment would be if you actually invested based on Mcash's advice. Bottom line up front, if you just want the key takeaway, investing based off of Mcash's stock tips from January to March of 2021 would currently have you at a negative 20% return on investment. In my opinion, channels like this are ruining the credibility of the YouTube investing space, and the more hype and the more followers that they get, the worse it becomes. Now, for the first 3 months of the year, Mcash's investing advice focused mainly on penny stocks with the occasional mid-cap or large-cap company thrown in there. But what's worse is that over the past few weeks or months, he's pivoted to focus almost exclusively on cryptocurrency and mainly on altcoins that are hugely volatile. And if you had invested in them when he said, you would also have lost a ton of money. So let's dive into the spreadsheet, and then I'm going to show you some of his more recent cryptocurrency picks and just how badly some of those would be doing. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet right here, where for the first 3 months of the year, I kept track of every single stock pick that Mcash provided on his channel. And you've got the ticker symbol, the date that the video was published on YouTube where he recommended the stock, then the purchase price, which was the closing price on the day that the video was published. And then finally, we've got the current price of the stock using just the Google Finance function, and a gain-loss column, which shows you if you had invested $100 in that stock on the day that the video was published, what would that $100 be today? Now, I'm not going to run through every single stock on this list. I've looked at it in more detail in previous videos, and also there's just too many of them. He provided over 100 stock tips in the first quarter of the year. But if we look at column D here, the purchase price, we'll see that the vast majority of these companies that he's recommending are penny stocks with the occasional large cap company thrown in there. You'll see the odd household name, for instance, you got Tesla down here, but the vast majority of these are definitely penny stocks. And if we're looking at this column here, column F, what we're seeing is the current value of $100 if you had invested in that stock on the very first day that the video was published to YouTube. Now, I had to choose a time to keep track of all my data points. Of course, you could be watching his videos maybe a day later or even a week later, and maybe that would push you to go and purchase shares in that stock. But to keep things consistent and for easy comparison amongst all of his stock tips, what I took was the closing price of that stock on the day that the video was published, or if it was published on a weekend, then of the next day when the markets were open. So yeah, looking at this column here, column F, you'll see that some of his plays from early January, for instance, are down significantly. You've got this one here that is down 65%. If you had invested $100 on January 11th, which was the day that the video was published, your investment would currently be worth 35.76. And that's the type of volatility and risk that you're getting with a lot of these super speculative EV SPAC plays, which I believe this one was, and then some of these other penny stocks that he's been providing stock tips for. Anyways, scrolling down to the bottom so that we can see the total ROI of investing based off of Mcash's stock tips over the first quarter of 2021 would be negative 21.19%. That's not exactly the type of return on investment you might want for your portfolio. And a negative 21% ROI is made even worse by the fact that when you compare it to the S&P 500 index, it's up about 11.8% year to date. So Mcash is actually underperforming the S&P 500 index by over 30%. You would have made 30% more if you just invested in a simple index fund and just left your money in there from the beginning of the year. Now, I will say that if you were a member of Mcash's Discord and had early access to these stock picks, you may actually be doing better than if you just invested when the YouTube videos were published. And that's because, of course, Mcash has 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, so even if just a very small fraction of those go out and start buying up shares of some penny stock that he's then promoted, if you were in early, then you could be a part of that pump up effect if the price of the stock gets inflated afterwards. Okay, so now let's look at some of Mcash's more recent investing advice, where he's pivoted from penny stocks to focus almost exclusively on cryptocurrency And when I say cryptocurrency, what I really mean is really obscure altcoins in many instances. And you'll see as I scroll through some of his more recent videos, almost every single one of them is talking about crypto and altcoins. For the last maybe month and a half, that has been almost exclusively what he's focused on. So let's look at a couple of these altcoin suggestions that Mcash has been floating over the past few weeks. For instance, this video here, 100x gem coin, I just bought 1 trillion of this coin. Sounds interesting. Let's check it out. So this altcoin that Mcash supposedly bought 1 trillion of was Axion. And if you watched the video on May 11th and decided that you immediately wanted to go and pick up some Axion, let's see what that return on investment would be today. Okay, so here's Axion on the CoinMarketCap website, and here is the price chart, which is not looking very good. So if you bought in around when that video was released on YouTube, you would have taken a pretty significant dip of over 50% actually to the current price today. Let's check out another one though. If I go back to Mcash's page here, let's see. Okay, so let's look at this one. The title is 50x coin, best altcoin, watch ASAP before it's too late. So the altcoin that Mcash is shilling in this video is called District OX, and the video was published on April 25th. So let's see, if you had invested in it on April 25th, what would your ROI be today? So here's the District OX chart on the CoinMarketCap website, and you can see if we scroll down here that if you invested on April 25th, which was right around when the video was published, or any time thereafter, you would currently be down significantly, well over 30%. Okay, let's check out one last one. This video is titled 500x gem coin. I just bought billions of this coin. So the altcoin featured in this video was called the Happy Coin, and the video was published on May 18th. So if you had purchased into the Happy Coin around May 18th, which is when the video was published, how would you be doing? Well, looking at the chart, the answer is not very good. You would currently be down well over 50% on your investment. This whole channel and all of its investing advice and stock tips is based upon hype and FOMO. And if you look at all of his titles and thumbnails, you know, it's all claiming ridiculous things and is obviously not delivering if you track the record. Now, of course, if you invested on some of these plays, then you might be up in the short term, but if you don't know when to get in and when to get out, which is basically impossible to predict, then you're probably going to be left holding the bag if you're following Mcash or another channel like this. As far as I can tell, there's two possible situations here. Either Mcash is just a guy that has no idea what the heck he's talking about, and he's just throwing all of these crazy claims and using this clickbait nonsense to try and pull in viewers and then monetize off of that. And the other possibility, which is even worse, is that he's using his reach as an influencer, including with his Discord, to artificially pump up the price of some of these penny stocks and altcoins so that he can cash out at the inflated prices, and then his followers would be left holding the bag. Either way, you're not looking at somebody that is providing quality investing advice, and yet the guy has almost 200,000 subscribers. His videos are getting tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of views, and it's quite clear that people are taking what he says seriously. Now, I am not a financial analyst and I'm certainly not an investing advisor, but I have enough common sense to be able to tell you to stay very far away from Mcash and any other channel that looks like this, especially when they're just pivoting from one hot thing to the next, trying to shill some crappy penny stock or some ridiculous altcoin to their followers so that they can make a quick buck. In my opinion, channels like this one are ruining the credibility of the YouTube investing space and taking away attention from the people that are actually doing legitimate analysis and research and that are providing value-added content to their viewers, which, in my opinion, again, Mcash is not.
That's all I have to say about that.